Produce drivers commuting through Enugu and to markets within and around the state have complained that they are being harassed by people who claim to be collecting taxes for the state's government. But the conundrum is, are any of the tax collection checkpoints, particularly between Nsukka and the metropolis, authorized? This is Enugu Kwenu. I am Nathalie Uku. Welcome. This is a major conundrum, obviously, and to answer this question that has bedeviled the state for quite some time is, of course, the executive chairman of Enugu State Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Emmanuel Nnamani. Thank you so much for joining us virtually this evening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening to you. So the first question I have is on the issue of agricultural produce drivers having to pay taxes when commuting to the state. Are these taxes authorized? Tell us about the legality of these taxes, because they have caused a lot of confusion to the point that some of these produce drivers do not even want to continue coming to Enugu or even the southeast, because Enugu, according to them, is a central location before they can even get to other states down here in the east.
All right. Good evening once again. I just have a small worry. The worry I have is, why is the produce or the what we call perishable good drivers, why we are there talking to you? I heard them say they came to Enugu. Whom did they report to? So why do they go to you? If they have reported, where is their report? But anyway, what they've said may not totally be unconnected to what happened. But I want to tell you that on assumption of office, the governor of Enugu State banned collection of produce revenue for Enugu State. And that ban is still in force. So nobody is collecting any money for produce for now. What everybody pays in the state is e-ticket, which is categorized according to vehicles. So for them to be claiming that somebody is collecting produce money, I doubt. The only thing we have is haulage, which may not actually be produce. So, but I want to let you know one thing that happened within this sector. This sector is a troublesome sector where you have all sorts of union and association within the ecosystem. And all of them, what they do is to try to raise alarm that the government is collecting money from them and probably gather sympathy from the public. Whereas what they are doing is actually they are trying to collect revenue from the drivers, which we have said in our state, no association is collecting revenue from drivers. It has to be incorporated in the e-ticket if it is a genuine association and their members buy into it. We'll incorporate it in our e-ticket, and when it is paid, the money is remitted to them. However, when you come to this particular ecosystem of haulage and all the articulated vehicles, you have so many associations. You have the people, the heavy duty association, you have the people who call themselves perishable goods association, you have the people who call themselves shippers association, you have a whole lot of associations within this ecosystem. But the challenge for us is, if all of them are claiming to have the mandate of the association to monitor their goods, and instead of them coming to monitor the flow of movement of their members, they are all coming to collect revenue. We said no. They can't come to our state and institute another multiple collection of revenue in the state. So whatever you see them do in the state, you see them wear uniform or wear apron. All these people are revenue collectors. Mind the guys they are coming from. We know them. We know them. We've been interacting with them. We've been engaging with them. So forget about all this coming to media to talk to the media instead of coming to the constitutional authority, a formal report, and we investigate whatever thing. Why it has been difficult for them to penetrate Enugu that to have e-ticket that unifies whatever is collectible and everybody gets their money.
All right. I mean, it's great that this e-ticketing platform is working, but at the same time, it also appears to have some loopholes, because I find it difficult to believe that that you have not observed these tax collectors or purported tax collectors who carry planks on the roads and literally stay in kiosks near the road. And once they see vehicles, agricultural produce drivers coming, they jump out with their planks and make sure they surround the agricultural produce vehicle and make sure that it stops. And then they go ahead to collect an amount that we don't even know how formal it is. So I wonder if indeed we're blaming the victims, because we're saying that maybe these associations want to start collecting revenue for themselves, but they're saying that their members, the drivers, are complaining to them. If you watched their interview carefully, you would have seen a perishable goods driver also painfully complaining about how this impacts his business and how unfairly treated that he feels. So are we going ahead to blame the victim? Are we ignoring the fact that these people, as we speak, and I'm very sure if we take a drive down to Enugu East Local Government, somewhere close to the Enugu East Local Government Secretariat, we would find these tax collectors there. And I'm made to understand that this set of tax collectors is even a civilized group. That once you go down toward Nsukka, that you may, for lack of better words, be mesmerized by the caliber of people that would be met at those areas.
I don't actually doubt it in entirety. In doing, we have seen some people like that, and we have actually tried to stop them. You know that when the chairman of Enugu East Local Government was inaugurated, the first move he started was to pursue those non-state actors that stay along the road and claim that they are revenue collectors. There is no haulage collection along that Enugu Nsukka axis. None exists. And nobody should claim to be collecting revenue for government, haulage or anything. There's no haulage along that axis. We only have haulage along the Abakaliki, Enugu, Ebonyi State border, Obola for border, Uji River border, then Ake's border, and that of Enugu Port Harcourt Ogo axis. So there is no haulage along Enugu Nsukka axis. None is approved in that axis, and nobody should be there claiming to be collecting haulage for the government. None.
Now, the question now is not whether they are there or whether they are not. The fact is that they are very much there, and I assure you, if you take a drive down there, you would see them. Except perhaps they recognize your vehicle, and if they know that they are illegal, they would probably scamper and make a run for it. But right now, the narrative on the streets is, if the government has not stopped them, if the police has not stopped them, if the military has not waded in, then that means that they might in fact be legal. And that's the message that residents are getting. If the government is not doing anything about it, then you're leaving room for their own interpretation. People are saying that they may be legal, and they're telling the people that yes, they're collecting revenue from perishable goods transporters, agricultural produce transporters, one and the same thing, and that's what they believe, that there's a vacuum, and of course they're taking advantage of this vacuum.
Not at all. See, we have been into this e-ticket over a year now, and what we have done in the e-ticket is that we have said whenever e-ticket is given, is vended, and anybody can confirm it. Those who claim they pay, where is it vended? So we've tried to take this our message even outside the Enugu state. For me, we also need to revalidate this report that we are sharing, because I know that since Enugu East chairman was inaugurated, that road is free of those hoodlums for now. We need to revalidate it. we need to know when this your report was made.
The report
and what
was
is
made
actually
as recently as Sunday. Sorry to interject. It was made on Sunday, and these tax collectors, who are perceived as even civilized, are just a stone throw away from the Enugu East Local Government Secretariat. And it would surprise you to know that they have such an elaborate structure that they even run in shifts. So they have those that work morning shift and those that come out at night. And that schedule seems to be working well for them.
Again, have they been able to tell you how much they pay? Are you sure what they're trying to evade is not just the e-ticket money? Are they paying anything? Can you confirm what anybody say he paid?
Some
for those who say, because
drive by without paying,
I
some
know,
of them stop.
I know there are some e-ticket enforcers along that road, but they are not allowed to carry any stick. Not at all, because we know how to get every defaulter to pay his or her tax. So, but that notwithstanding, with what you have said now, we are also going to move into the field, go through that road, and they also observe ourselves. They've complained that usually they come out midnight or late in the night. We're also going
they come out during the day as well. And even adding to the elaborate nature of this, they even have some kind of, a bar nearby is even named after them. They have the tax collectors, or let me not say bar, the tax collector supermarket, because that area appears to be known for tax collectors. That's how elaborate their structure appears to be.
Yeah, I said within that axis, we are not collecting any
tax,
any haulage along that axis. So it's only e-ticket we collect from normal commercial buses and articulated vehicles on that axis. No haulage. And again, I said in the state, there is no agriculture produce levy at all in the state. The governor of the state banned it on assumption of office, and it remained banned to date.
All right. So do you think that these illegal tax collectors may be linked to the local governments? Because I still find it difficult to understand how they'll be operating so close and not be clamped down upon. Do you think there's some kind of duty that they are doing for the local government?
No, I may not be able to link it. What I can tell you is that before this government came on board, we had a proliferation of non-state actors collecting all sorts of revenue in the state. So our coming on board to introduce e-ticket and unifying all the collection and telling the public to pay once that enter the government purse has not actually gone down well with everybody who are hit out to using this to make their personal money. But what I can assure you is that it may have posed a lot of challenges to some residents of the state, but I can assure you that we are going to dismantle anywhere we see these things happening. So that's why I said that these people should have brought us a formal report where they see them operate either in the daytime or at night, so that we use those who operate at night as well to fight them in those areas. So instead of coming to media to make a publication, make a news, and then go with it, I begin to say that it is in Enugu State this thing is happening. And also, I've told you not be mindful of the fact that these people are also another multiple revenue collection agent in their own, which we have not given them chance to do here in Enugu State. So them coming to the media instead of coming to the state to demand either investigation or immediate halting of such unwanted practices is not actually the way to go. There was a time the Nasarawa state came, and when they came, it's not that they were being. They said they need a harmonization in our e-ticket, and we did for them. So for these people to, instead of coming to the states, they are going to the media. Anyway, like I told you, I know what they are actually there for. But our main concern is the citizens, the commuters who suffer in the hands of these non-state actors. We are going to fight those non-state actors and ensure that commuters have a free ride in and out of Enugu.
Fantastic. Now, these workers' unions actually went to make a report to the police, mostly because of these illegal tax collectors, like non-state actors, as you've described them, were even getting violent to the point that they would like I would say in Nigerian parlance, break someone, they were breaking drivers' heads basically with their planks. They would use a plank and hit a driver's head. If the driver did not give them what they wanted or heed to their demand, they would break the driver's windscreen. They would jump into the driver's bus or van and take out the money that they wanted. They would torture and they would humiliate these drivers. And they have sent us some rather gory pictures, which, I mean, I wouldn't even want to put on screen because they're difficult to look at. So they actually went to make a report to the police because of this. And as I'm made to understand now, they're writing to ESRS so that it can be looked into holistically. So what do you have to say about the violent conduct of these tax collectors? Is it something that we can say is criminal? Are they going to be arrested? Can ESRS actually arrest these offenders?
I say that these people cannot be staff or agent of the government, because we have well-trained people. If you come into the city, come inside the city, you see the way we collect our tax inside the city. Do you see people complain about it? So these people may be non-state actors, which we are going to investigate and also ensure that they don't stay on our road to cause commuters any trouble. We are going to fight. And I also want to let you know that they are not from us, because our people are properly trained. If people will only stop you when they have used their smartphone to validate that you have not paid your e-ticket. It's only at that point in time that you can be stopped. And people don't just stop anybody who is going about his or her normal businesses. So we are going to deal with this. Possibly, if I can get the particular point where these people stay, then we'll now engage the government vendors to install a massive CCTV camera there that can see in between the night, so that we'll actually identify who are those people doing this. We'll get that resolved as quickly as possible.
All right. How can people in the state, commuters, visitors, and residents alike identify the legal tax collectors? How can we know who we should pay money to for the e-ticket, for instance, and who we should not?
Our people are 100% tagged with their ID. They have their ID card tag. They also wear our apron. Though our apron can be manufactured by anybody, but the ID card is also there to show that this person has an ID card. And in a couple of months to come, for those who are learned anyway, the ID card can be verified online. You can get anybody's ID card and verify it. We are going to put a barcode that you can easily verify who is our certified agent or enforcers along the road. So these are what we are doing to ensure that our people who are unwanted elements cannot come and disrupt the peaceful movement of goods and services in the states.
Okay, now essentially, how do you think that this network may be functioning? Because if this is something that has predated the administration of Governor Peter Mbah, then it's obvious that there are some people who may be benefiting from the activities of these tax collectors. How would you imagine this network of illegal tax collectors operate? How would you imagine they operate? Because we cannot remove the fact that there are people who are enjoying at least 20 to 50% of the funds that these tax collectors are making.
Anyway, what I don't want to do is I don't want to link it to anybody sponsoring them. But what I know is that they do it. Some people do it before this government came on board. So there are people who thrive in collecting all manner of revenues or levies from people, and it enters into their pocket directly. So now we've stopped them, and some of them actually joined our e-ticket and we reformed them. They're now doing a great job for us. But for those who believe in the initial time that this government e-ticket will never work, it has never worked, it will not work, so they refuse to buy into our agenda. And when they saw that we have actually started on another level of operation, the only thing they can do is come on, cannot done it. But what we are going to do, we are going to get them apprehended, reform those who believe they can be reformed, and also integrate them into our system so that they will earn revenue genuinely and feed their family.
Are you saying that there are job opportunities for these tax collectors when they are brought or arrested or brought to book?
Yes, there are. We have opportunities for them. They can be integrated into our system. If they can be reformed, we'll have opportunity for them. And we promise them that it's better they come, so that we'll refund them and they also settle them into an opportunity where they can make a genuine money than continue to be in a non-state actor ecosystem whereby we can as well, they have a massive risk of losing their lives or getting themselves injured.
Don't you think that that would make people who are currently unemployed to seek careers in illegal tax collection, because they know that when they are apprehended, they could get a very ostensibly amazing job with the ESIRS?
Right, that is an olive branch anywhere. In any economy, you must use carrot and stick at any point in time, and you must extend the olive branch to people who are willing to join in a peaceful transition of their life.
All right. So what do you have to say to people who are probably encountering this right now, or people who may encounter this in the future? Because we have to establish the fact that at that point, when you are being, let's say you're being cornered by these illegal collectors and they have their sticks and they are looking intimidating and they are aggressive and they're about to break your windscreen, you have no other choice but to make payment. But before you respond to that, let's take our second break. Enugu Queen returns shortly. Do stay with us. You're welcome back to Enugu Kwenu on Afia TV. I'm still joined all the way, of course, right here in Enugu, actually from his office, by Mr. Emmanuel Nnamani, the Executive Chairman of the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. Thank you, sir, once again, as always. Thanks for making our time to join me this evening. Let's now look at the question or the hook I left this conversation with, and that involves what people should do when they are confronted by these illegal tax collectors and they can't turn right, they can't turn left. All they can do is to drive into the hands of these people and then they are being harassed. What do you expect them to do at that point, especially because it appears as if the security operatives do not have these tax collectors under control just yet? What should every average citizen do when they are confronted by these tax collectors, which could be happening right now as we speak?
Sorry, I don't think we should wait until citizens run into them and the citizens will now begin to look for a self-help strategy. I don't think that is the best approach. The best approach is that they shouldn't even be there at all. So having had this, we are moving into action immediately. We are going to use every apparatus of the government, be it the police, be it the DRS. We want to make sure that they are not even there, so that the citizen doesn't even need to begin to strategize. What do I do when I run into them? They're not supposed to be at all. So our strategy should be that they're not even there to cause citizens any trouble. Let it be that citizens will not begin to do strategy of how to handle them. So please, we are going to move into action immediately and ensure that these people are not there at all within that axis. So they can't be there. We can't subject citizens to that kind of treatment.
Yes, and to paint a clearer picture, according to these perishable goods transporters, the tax collectors, the illegal tax collectors along that axis are so menacing that they don't even always go with police officers, because there's a rumor that some of these transporters have to drive by a particular station to pick up police officers, one or two that would join them to get past these aggressive produce tax collectors. But now, because of the way things are going and how violent that they've become beyond that Enugu East area down towards Obolafo, they actually have to go with soldiers sometimes. That's what they are claiming. And the man that was telling me this, the perishable goods transporter, said it with so much pain, anger, and frustration that it was difficult for us not to even believe him, because he was speaking from his heart. So you are about to walk into an operation to rid the roads of people who these commuters cannot even get by without having soldiers with them. I've seen them in action, and I'm made to understand that these are not even the ones I should be worried about. So how do you intend to deal with this in a way that would not cause some kind of, let's describe it as World War V?
No, I don't think you need to worry yourself. The government has all the apparatus to fight it. Don't just get yourself worried. So the only thing we need is information at the right time. The government will fight it. They won't even be doing.
Off the top of your head, what would be the best strategy to tackle this? Off the top of your head.
Don't bother yourself about that. The government, they won't be there. I can assure you they will be there. Some of the strategies may actually not be the use of police. Some of them may be an engagement. Are you getting me? So certain people know certain operators whom they can call, and engagement happens, while others will also require the use of force. So, but I can assure you that they will be there to torment citizens.
All right. Now, before we round up, just one question to go, but I have to just touch this quickly because I know that there are some viewers thinking about this now, especially those who have at some point lived in Enugu or still live in Enugu right now. And that is, of course, the illegal tax collectors that also operate in Holy Ghost. They are there at the Ogbete main market, just outside. You know, drivers who are aware of them and are not ignorant would end up chasing them away or just ignoring them. But those who are not aware would be harassed. They would be touted. They would be insulted just because these people want to get some money from them. And sometimes you see them operating and then there's a traffic warden that is not far away. You might see an official of the Ministry of Transport, for instance, controlling traffic. And these people are here harassing drivers on the other side, or perhaps even on the same side. Are these revenue collectors also, are they authorized?
No, they are not. They are not. If actually what you described still exists, because I know that the chairman of Enugu North has actually cleared a whole lot within that axis of Holy Ghost Chris Kemis. That place has a free transport now, free pass. That people, you can't see those people you are describing. But we also need to put our eyes there. Since you have said it, I'm also going to contact the chairman again so that we'll start another level of vigilance in that area to ensure that they don't come to torment any of their citizens.
The main area right now is definitely the Enugu East axis. That seems to be causing a lot of trouble, especially the road leading from Nsukka downwards. And there are many complaints about the ones who operate at night. That seems to be where the bloodshed starts to happen. But before we round up, let's talk about e-ticketing and, you know, how that's going for you and how it's trying to bridge these gaps in the state.
All right. The e-ticket has actually functioned very well. We have not ramped up the use of e-ticket. We still have massive potentials and opportunities within the e-ticket ecosystem. But it has actually reduced the suffering of our people in terms of payment of revenue to government. The Keke people can attest to that once they pay their money on Levy, they can fly like an eagle to anywhere in the state without anybody harassing them again. The same also happens to our market. Once you have paid, you get your alert. Nobody stops you. Whoever comes, you show your alert. And if you cannot even determine, you will get your alert immediately. Just dial star 8011 star 042 hash. And they'll be able to tell the people, yes, I've done this, I've paid. So the e-ticket is a unified tax collection. It brings every government revenue, consolidates it, and you pay once. It's a relief to the people of Enugu State. It has actually created ease of doing business in Enugu. And because it is a simple technology, it is also helping the government accumulate much revenue from the informal sector. We are hitherto. It has been difficult for anybody to collect us in those areas. So e-ticket has come to stay in Enugu State. Is a welcome development, is a simplified way of paying tax, and the people are actually free from a lot of molestation, apart from one or two elements of trouble area like you are just mentioning, Ugogo, Nsukka, which we are going to deal with, and the citizen will be free from all those troubles.
I mean, we definitely love to document that clamp down on these illegal tax collectors. If it's something that Apia TV can showcase to the people, because that is a really painful point for many people who are involved in commercial transportation. So it'd be great for us to also see and monitor how the Revenue Service is dealing with that in collaboration with the relevant security agencies. Now, just on a final note, we understand that there was a training that held recently. Some new staff were onboarded to join the Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. Tell us about that training and what we should expect following the onboarding of these new staff. I'm made to understand there are over 200 or 200 on the 200 specifically.
Yes, like you pointed correctly, we have started the strategic training section for all our newly recruited staff of Enugu State Internal Revenue Service. You know that for us to collect revenue and also to monitor what goes on both in the formal and informal sector, we need some capable hands. So these capable hands, we have recruited the best of young people in Enugu, and not just recruiting, we need to give them the best of skills, tax collection skills, to ensure that when they resume work, they will do the right thing, they will stop leakages, they will also ensure that government revenue is ramped up. So for us, we have a very good beginning for all of them, and in the history of Enugu State, I don't think this has happened. So where people are hired and they are young people, and you put them on a pedestal of sustainable scale acquisition, skill training in terms of tax collection. So we have the PricewaterhouseCoopers drilling them on core tax subject, tax skills, computation, assessment, how to write the report, how to deliver a report, how to deliver assessment, how to give notice, demand notice for collection. So these have never happened before. And when we came into the service, you see people say, I've been here for the past 15 years. I've never been on training. It's not, the world has moved. It's a knowledge world these days, whereby people get to wherever they want to get to because of the skills and knowledge they have. Why should we have a state where this knowledge is lacking and we feel we are comfortable? No, we need to bring back the knowledge-based economy. And that is why you see the government is revamping our education system, revamping our health sector. Then in the revenue collection, we need to expand it. You need to build knowledge. You need to have skills that people will use to collect government revenue. Skills that matters, and also soft skills. So sometimes you may be thinking you are collecting revenue from somebody, but whereas you are actually abusing that person. So we believe that we need to give these people the best of training we can get within the tax ecosystem. And that's what we are doing. It's happening at Nikelek, PwC. They are there. We also have Wabio Consult, training them, building their capacity on a daily basis. And our people are also there guiding them on the step-by-step approach, both in the formal and informal sector, ensuring that they understand the process of revenue collection. So that's what we are doing. It's a beautiful thing, and we give all glory to God and all appreciation to the governor of Enugu State who believe in building a knowledge economy.
Fantastic. Now, just to round this up, how much exactly are these perishable goods transporters supposed to pay when they get to Obulafor? Because the NATO and NURTW representatives that came, the officials, said that they understand that they're supposed to pay at Obulafor, but then they continue to pay all the way down the line, which has a ripple effect on the prices of agricultural produce across the Southeast region. So what is the specific amount that they're supposed to pay, and know that that's that for that commuting journey?
The amount differs. For instance, somebody who is paying for haulage pays for haulage and they will not pay for e-tickets. Once you pay for haulage, you will not pay again for e-tickets. And the amount differs from the capacity of the vehicle. So there are capacity of vehicles that are lower than 14 tires. Those 14 tires pay, if it's e-ticket, pays 2,500. Those who are above 14 tires pay 3,000. It's not expensive. But where it becomes expensive is that when you fail to pay. If you fail to pay, the enforcement fee can get up to 20,000 naira. So, but when you pay, you go your way. You can easily show anybody your phone, the alerts you got, and you move on. So it's not an amount that is expensive, and again, for haulage, it is also categorized. So it's not something that anybody will say it's not expensive at all. Where it becomes expensive is when you fail to pay, when you want to evade it. That's when the enforcement fee becomes high.
How can we justify the use of tires, how many tires these vehicles have to determine how much they have to pay?
That has been the practice. That is the practice.
Why? How do we understand it? How do we say that what was the basis for this?
It's not about you saying it. You see it. No, you don't say it. You see. So the categorization of this vehicle within that sector is known, and all of them know it. So there are 14 tires, there are CISO, there are Dyna, there are Mini Dyna. In fact, they know.
I would have thought that the quantity of the agricultural produce would determine the tax. How do we negotiate?
No, you don't go into that because you don't have a weighing or scale centers. So that is not what you can go into for now. So what I've been into practice is the use of the capacity of the vehicle in terms of what it is. So when we optimize our technology, then we have weighing centers. Then you don't even need to go into a center. We can put the weight on the road that if you match on it, we already see it by a screen, the kg or tons of what you are carrying. But for now, we are using the capacity 10 tires, 15, 14 tires, 16 tires, 20, 24 tires.
What if the truck is half empty?
That's not what you're considering for now.
That's what. Sorry, I didn't come again, sir.
That is not what we are considering for now.
Yeah, but it's an important consideration, don't you think? Because then
that can be in the future when the technology optimizes. Because when something is half loaded, is quarterly loaded, is 1 quarter loaded, how would you do that? How would you do that?
So if assuming it's
a petrol product, someone is carrying 10,000 liters, someone is carrying 15,000 liters, how would you go? I mean, it cause a lot of hold up when you are trying to do that.
Of course, it would definitely, but sometimes you see things through eye value. If I have someone that's carrying a truckload of cows, for instance, and someone that is just carrying half a truck of onions, would I charge the two drivers, the same tax because they both have 14 tires?
Do not subject people. Do not allow our people to be subjected to what we call personal subjective judgment. I get me. It can be injurious to the society. That subjective judgment is injurious to society because it can cause a lot of unfair treatment to anybody. Let's use the number of tires and the capacity of the vehicle for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Nnamani, the Executive Chairman, ESIRS, for joining us this evening. It was a pleasure having you on. And yes, we still throw this invitation open to you when it's time to actually monitor the removal of these illegal tax collectors. Do let us know. We'd love to show that to our viewers, televise it, and let them know that Enugu roads are free to commute moving forward. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. But also note that we are not interested in showing it to the world. We are interested in making sure that we have an easy environment for our people. That's what matters to us, not about when we have gone to the media to say it. But let there be a free movement of goods and services. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again. And thank you all for joining Enugu Kwenu this evening. Do also have a blissful evening ahead. I've been your host as always, Nathalie Ugu. This is saying thank you for watching. Bye for now.